The Tampa Bay area keeps making the news for having one of the fastest cooling housing markets in the country, but what is really going on? In this video, I'm diving into the data and showing you what the numbers are actually saying. By the way, I'm Shay Green with Impact Realty Tampa Bay. If you have any real estate related questions, go ahead and send them my way. You can shoot me a text or send me an email. So in this video, I'm looking at the most recent market stats for the Tampa Bay area and how these statistics compare to these numbers last year. And then most importantly, I'm talking about what this means for you as a potential buyer or seller in the Tampa Bay area. So let's get right into it. So I'm looking at the most recent data from Florida Realtors. So these numbers were taken from June 15th to July 15th and released towards the end of July. We will have the next month's coming out towards the end of August. So I will be posting another video once that data comes out as well. And this is the data for the Tampa Bay area. So it's looking at Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco, and Hernando counties. Okay, so let's just walk through these stats. So first of all, the closed sales from this year versus last year is down 13%, which is pretty substantial. But then when you couple that with the change in active listings that are on the market, you can see that we are in a very different market than we were last year. Okay, so this year the listings are actually up 78% compared to last year, which is substantial. And this is really what's driving a lot of these headlines, is that we do have a lot more active listings. There are way more homes on the market right now, and homes are sitting for longer. And so everything that comes from this is just from simple supply and demand. We just have a lot more homes available for sale and have less buyers buying. But what's interesting to me is the sales prices haven't really decreased according to these stats. I know for me, on a day-to-day basis as a realtor in the Tampa Bay area, I do see some price drops, but that typically happens when a home was overpriced to begin with, or when there's a lot of homes that are very similar. For instance, a condo or a home that's in an HOA community with a lot of other similar homes. These sellers are having to decrease their prices in order to compete with other similar listings. Another thing that's interesting is the median time to contract. So homes are sitting on the market longer, which is expected considering that we have so many more homes available this year versus last. But the Tampa Bay area was one of the hottest housing markets a couple of years ago, so it makes sense that we're also one of the fastest cooling markets, because we're just stabilizing and coming back to a more balanced market, but it just seems like a big change because we were so hot. And I do like looking at this last item, the month's supply of inventory, because it tells an interesting picture of the actual status of the market. So what month's supply of inventory is it's basically saying if we didn't list any more homes on the market, this is how many months it would take for us to sell all of the existing homes that are listed. So you can see that last year in June 2023, we had 1.8 months supply of inventory, and now we are almost double that at 3.4 months. But a way to gauge whether or not we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market is to look at this month's inventory data. So typically, if we're in a seller's market, we have less than 6 months of inventory. A buyer's market is over 6 months, and then that neutral market is around the 6 to 7 month range. So if you go off of that, then we still are in a seller's market, although not as strong of a seller's market as it was in the past. So I think that's interesting to keep in mind, that according to months of inventory, we're actually still in a solid seller's market. But what we see just on a day-to-day basis is, I would say it's a pretty balanced market. There are some homes that sell really quickly and are very competitive, and then some homes are sitting. It really depends on the area and if the home has some unique value. So I do agree somewhat with what the headlines are saying about Tampa Bay being a cooling market, but it's mostly because we used to be such a hot market and we're kind of coming back down to earth. And the last couple of years were an anomaly and were an absolutely crazy seller's market. And now we're just getting so much more balanced. And there's more opportunities for buyers to actually get a home under contract. So that leads me to what this data actually means for you. So if you are a buyer, I still think this is a great time to buy. Even though interest rates are high right now, if they were to decrease, it's just going to result in more competition amongst buyers. So I always say, if the payment works for you now, to get into a home. You may have noticed that recently there have been some interest rate drops. For instance, you now can get into a home in the 6% interest range rather than in the 7% range. And that makes a big difference. And I will say, in the market, we already are feeling this by some houses all of a sudden having multiple offers and bidding wars. It just seems like already there's a little bit more competition among buyers. And as interest rates drop more, that competition is just expected to go up. And we know the housing market is based on supply and demand. So as interest rates continue to go down and demand goes up, there will be more competition among buyers. So right now we're still able to negotiate extremely favorable terms for buyers. You're still able to get a home that you love with potentially some seller credit to help you buy down that interest rate. So I always recommend buying a home now and refinancing later once the rates come down, so that you're not competing against all the other buyers as soon as the rates drop. And if you're a seller right now, home prices are still up substantially compared to where they were just a couple of years ago. So it absolutely can still make sense to sell. However, I do recommend being strategic with how you sell. And that means pricing effectively, not overpricing your home, and also working with a realtor who's going to market your home effectively. One thing I really try to do in this market when I'm selling a home is highlight the unique features of the home, because like I said earlier, because we have more homes on the market, as a seller, you are competing with many more listings. So we want to position your home as unique as possible, highlight those special features that just pertain to your home and attract buyers. So there you have it. I hope this video was helpful. It is so interesting to see how this housing market has changed and evolved over the past year. And obviously it's going to continue to evolve, especially as interest rates continue to drop. So I will be posting these market update videos every single month. So if you're interested, please subscribe so you can get those monthly updates. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any real estate questions, don't hesitate to reach out. See ya.